What's going on, everyone? So, the New Orleans Pelicans, based on reports, are not expected to extend Brandon Ingram. Now, he's under contract next year, but then he has the ability to become a free agent. And if the New Orleans Pelicans aren't going to extend him, then that means they're probably going to look to trade him and potentially move off of him. I've already seen plenty of people ask me in the comments and stuff of what do I think about Brandon Ingram and should the Lakers go and trade for Brandon Ingram. So let's talk about it. And as always, I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. Let me know down in the comments below. Also, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. But Brandon Ingram, obviously, he's a guy, was drafted by the Lakers. I was super stoked, super happy when the Lakers did draft him. Duke guy, I love Duke. And coming from Duke, he was the guy I was hoping, praying for. Lakers ultimately draft him. He showed all the promise. He's got good size, good length, good versatility, right? Play both forward spots. You could even put him at the 2 if you needed to because his ability to score and make plays and do the things that are necessary, right? It was like, man, this guy could potentially be a star, all-star level guy in this league. And he did evolve into that, an all-star, right? And ultimately he gets shipped out for the Anthony Davis package, which, look, I love it. Right? The Lakers won that deal. Like, I see people try to argue that they didn't. They won a championship. They won that trade. Okay? I mean, there's teams still to this day that have never won a championship. So, yes, the Lakers won the championship. They won the deal. But I digress. Brandon Ingram. He is everything you want from your prototypical wing size, 6'8", 6'9", good versatility, got long wingspan, right? Can create his own shot, create for others, right? He's a guy that ideally makes a ton of sense, right? If the Lakers are going to look for that third star, Brandon Ingram would be that complementary piece because him and Anthony Davis would make a lot of sense, right? Get some defense out on the perimeter, that size, that length, that versatility. Also, he would take pressure off of Anthony Davis. He'd take pressure off of LeBron James. LeBron James wouldn't have to do so much. Brandon Ingram and his ability to play off ball. There's a lot of things that look good in regards to Brandon Ingram. Also, I don't think Brandon Ingram is the best player on a championship team, right? But him as your third best player, right? Where most of the time he'll probably be your second best player because LeBron will probably be the third guy. He's never going to really be the third guy, but third guy, right? Because he can kind of coast. He can kind of hey, you two kind of handle business, especially during the regular season. And then in the playoffs, it's I can just pick and choose my spots while you two handle business, kind of take over and dominate the game. Right, and have that two-man game with Ingram and Anthony Davis, plus all the different sets and the pick and roll, where now you could have LeBron and Ingram and have essentially two big guys running the pick and roll action. And Anthony Davis, you could put Anthony Davis and Brandon Ingram. LeBron and Anthony Davis obviously are a big mismatch in that pick and roll because usually it's a guard and a big man, right? It's just there's a lot of different types of visions on the offensive side of things, which could translate very well. And then on the defense side of things, it's Brandon Ingram and his versatility out on the defense. You could put him at the 2 if you wanted to. You could put him at 3, and then have LeBron James when he's locked in, right? That's the problem is he's talked about it himself. He can't put it together for 40 minutes a game anymore. But you get to the playoffs and it's into the game, down the stretch, we need guys to lock in. You can see man, LeBron locking down, Ingram locking down, Anthony Davis locking down. Good luck, right? Like I said, you could put Ingram at the 2, put Jared Vanderbilt at the 3. Good luck. I don't even care who. I mean, they could have Trae Young at the point. Not realistically, no. But you get my point. You could, at that point, you have so much versatility, so much switchability. I mean, the defense would just be insane in that regard. I like the idea of Brandon Ingram. I do. But there are some real concerns. Okay? Couple things. One, would Brandon Ingram be okay and be willing to adjust to being the third guy? Again, most of the times he'd be the number 1 guy, but he's already had issues, and there have been countless reports of him and Zion. He's not very happy with Zion's role. Is he going to be happy with that as Anthony Davis? Right? Is he going to be okay playing second fiddle at best? Where realistically, he's probably on most occasions going to be the third guy. How much opportunity, how much potential does he actually have? Another thing is post-LeBron, is Brandon Ingram and Anthony Davis enough and a good enough foundation to go win you a championship? I don't really know, right? it sounds good, the size, the versatility, the length, but I don't like. It obviously would depend on who else is around Brandon Ingram and Anthony Davis. Right? Like if you have the right pieces around those guys, then yes. The other good thing I like about a potential Brandon Ingram trade is like it would allow you to get more. I don't think he would cost as much as say a Donovan Mitchell or a Trae Young or anything like that. So you'd be able to go get him. Obviously, player-wise, like financially, yes, he's making less. But I'm talking about even like you could go trade for him and then maybe go trade for another piece that could maybe make more compliments, right? Can you figure it out to go trade for Brandon Ingram and then like maybe like a DeJounte or something, right? Like, oh, and now you have several guys, right? But I have concerns about like the post LeBron as Ingram and Davis. Are those two going to be enough for you to really go off into the sunset and continue to win with? But the biggest concern, or I guess two biggest concerns, is one, his health, right? Brandon Ingram has not really been a model of health, right? And a lot of people talk about injuries and Anthony Davis and LeBron James. Brandon Ingram's like playing 55 games a season, right? It's like, it's not great, right? Like, and granted, he'd be playing a different role, right? So he might not be relied on as heavy, so there might not be as much pressure, and he might not have to exert himself as heavily. And I mean, all the attention that LeBron and Anthony Davis are able to create, right? Brandon Ingram's not going to have to fight as hard as he does on the Pelicans, where teams are kind of just like honing in on him. So maybe that could help with his health a little bit, but that's definitely a concern, right? It's like talking your three best players are all guys that, yes, LeBron James and Anthony Davis were healthy this season, knock on wood. Hopefully that continues to be the case going forward. But there is the concern of like, if these guys are all missing half the season, like it's not a good position, or a third of the season, whatever, right? So that's really concerning. And the other thing is too is just like I do have some fit questions because again, like Brandon Ingram is best with the ball in his hands, where he's allowed to create. You give him the basketball, he's allowed to go one-on-one isolate, but also he can make plays and create for others. Right, so the best version of Brandon Ingram is when he has the ball in his hands. He's not really like Kevin Durant in that sense of like Kevin Durant is, yes, he's excellent and you'd love to have the ball in Kevin Durant's hands, but he's just as big of a threat off ball and doesn't necessarily need the ball in his hands to be effective. Right, you can play Kevin Durant off ball and just feed him the basketball. And he'd take a dribble and boom, pull up and splash. Right, where Ingram, he kind of likes to, get into his bag a little bit and then create and go score, which the Lakers do need without a doubt, right? I mean, if we had Brandon Ingram against Denver this series that we just lost, this is probably a very different series. Right? The Lakers probably win that series too, because again, you have another defensive guy and another guy that can go create and go give you buckets, right? So I do think Brandon Ingram, and it can work and adjust, but it's just like, when push comes to shove and things are tight and LeBron has the ball in his hands 90% of the time, does Brandon Ingram start becoming ineffective? Like, that's a real concern where with like on the Pelicans, like everything kind of just flows through Brandon Ingram for the most part when he's on the basketball court. So, but at the end of the day, I do, like if you can get Brandon Ingram, sure. Right? If we got news tomorrow that the Lakers signed Brandon Ingram, I'd be jumping up and down for joy, right? I'd be ecstatic. Because he does fit that mold. He's got the youth. He's still only 27, so he's still got plenty of years, or ideally plenty of years left in the tank. He's excellent on both sides of the basketball. He's an all-star level guy that could be a complimentary third guy. He's not really a number one guy on a championship team, but he doesn't need to be, right? Because you have Anthony Davis. You have LeBron James. He, I think, would complement perfectly. He'd be like a supercharged third option. Or I guess, LeBron could be the supercharged third option. I love the idea of Brandon Ingram. If the Lakers could potentially get Brandon Ingram, sure. Because also, like I said, I think you could go get other pieces, right? Like I could see them maybe being able to trade, Rui, maybe trade Rui Reeves or maybe don't even have to trade Rui, right? Like they want a point guard, right? Like maybe you could do something where you work it out and do D'Lo and Rui for, Brandon Ingram and then 2 firsts and a pick swap or something. And then, like I said, maybe go take Austin Reeves and, another first and maybe 2 seconds or something like that and throw in a Gabe Vincent or whatever and go go get DeJounte Murray, right? Like there's options there. Lakers, if you go get Brandon Ingram, you have other possibilities, other potentials to get other pieces, even if it's not like a DeJounte Murray. Let's say, can you go get an Alex Caruso, right? Now you have like Alex Caruso, Brandon Ingram, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis at that point, right? Like there's a lot that you could do in that regard. I like the idea of Brandon Ingram. If you can go get Brandon Ingram, go get Brandon Ingram. I do have concerns again about fit and more than anything injuries, right? Can he stay healthy? That's the biggest factor, because if he's playing 55 games a year and it's questionable come the playoffs and it's like, is this guy even going to play? Like those are all things of concern, but we'll see. Time will tell. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you like the idea of Brandon Ingram? Do you think like, yes, go get Brandon Ingram, give us a legit, just guy that can go get a bucket as well as make plays, as well as defend out on the perimeter, give you some more size, some more length, some more versatility. You play the 2, play the 3, you can even put him at the 4 at times, right? Like, do you like that idea, or do you think, no, like we should go look for somebody else, too injury prone, or fit's not a bit of a concern? Again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.